I don't know what you expected from Quinn, but what did you think you got?
It didn't shock me. We saw some of this last year. He started 18 games, and I think he averaged 14 or 15 points during that stretch, had a 30-point game. He's a great shooter, and he just got off to that hot start. He and Kevin have a good connection as well, so I like seeing them out there together. But I'm just, more than anything, just impressed with Quinn's professionalism, to not play at all for 7, 8 games, whatever it was, and to stay ready and be able to perform all of a sudden out of nowhere when we need him. That's the mark of a pro, and he's just a great fit for us, and always prepared, always ready.
Another Cook question. You used the word professionalism. I think another word that kind of jumps out watching him last year and this year is just his confidence coming onto this team. And I'm wondering, did he bring that to this team, or did you see that develop at all in the early stages last year?
I thought it developed, took a little bit of time. His first couple of games when Steph went down late in the year, first couple of games starting, I thought Quinn was a little gun-shy, just didn't quite feel comfortable really letting it go. And I think our players did a great job of telling him, we want you to shoot every time you're open. I remember Clay and KD telling him that, and I think maybe the third or fourth game that he started, he broke out, had a 20-plus point game, and from that point on, he understood, that's what we need from him. We're not a team that has 7 or 8 3-point shooters. We have great shooters at the top, but we need, when Steph is out in particular, we need that shooting that Quinn can provide, and we want him to be aggressive. So he was great tonight.
I think this type of night's kind of fun for Kevin. He got 11 assists, more of a facilitating role.
Yeah, we're always going to put the ball in Kevin's hands. If Steph's out, that's a no-brainer, just to facilitate. And 11 assists, 9 for 15, kind of a typical Kevin Durant night, very efficient, and he enjoys that playmaking role. But I thought our defense was really good too. We got a break from the schedule makers. Brooklyn having to play in Denver last night. That's a tough back-to-back, and so they were a little tired. But I thought we played really good individual defense, a lot of isolation stuff on our switches, and a lot of our guys really did a good job staying in front and forcing tough shots.
You mentioned they were on the second hand of back-to-back. We often talk about how difficult it is to play in high-altitude places like Denver. What's it like to play a team who just came back from playing in that high altitude?
I was breathing heavily early on myself, just thinking about Brooklyn's ordeal. I just think that I watched the game. It was an unbelievable game, and Brooklyn had an emotional win, and at the end, with LeVert's bucket, and then you got that 45-minute drive out to the airport in Denver, and now you're coming back from altitude. So it's always a back-to-back that involves Denver is the toughest one in the league. We all know that, and that played to our advantage tonight.
Hey, Steve, how did you decide to go with Jerebko tonight to start, and what did you see out of that overall?
Just wanted to get a little more spacing on the floor to get a good offensive flow early. So we had, more of a shooting lineup out there with Quinn and Jonas, and then I thought Kavan and Jordan came in, did a really good job defensively off the bench, and we had a really good defensive stand in the second quarter at one point. With a lot of length out there. Andre was at the point, and I think it was Andre, Clay, KD, Jordan, maybe Loon. And that's more of a defensive-minded lineup, and I thought that was a good stretch of the game for us, too.
Steve, along the lines with defense, what was your takeaway on Quinn's defense tonight and his strides in that area over the last couple of months or year?
Yeah, he was solid. We did a lot of switching, and they have a lot of guards who can really attack. And I thought Quinn did a good job just staying in front and staying active, and not fouling, and just staying solid.
Steve, following your point about Quinn's professionalism, when he wasn't getting playing time, what did you notice about his routine overall, even with
it never changes. He just stays stays with it every day, puts his work in, and as I said, he's a pro. He understands this, and his role is going to swing wildly based on our health and what's happening out on the floor, but he's always ready.
Once again, another Quinn question. Considering, the fact that Steph's injury maybe is not as, bad as you guys may have thought initially, having Quinn be that efficient and be able to take the reins at point guard, does that allow you guys to maybe play that a little more safe and maybe give Steph a little extra time to get better?
We won't change our thinking on Steph based on how somebody else is playing. I mean, it helps for sure, but Steph will come back when he's healthy. We're not going to take any chances. But in the meantime, if Quinn is playing like that, it's a huge help, obviously.
Your young three bigs got 15 points, 17 rebounds tonight. It looked like Jordan kind of bounced back a little bit from the other night. What did you see from him in those three guys?
I thought all of them were good. I thought Looney got some tough calls. He got in foul trouble, but was in great position defensively. Jordan was active, made some nice plays, dribble handoffs, and just making the simple play. And Damian continues to give us good minutes. Tonight was a really good night for Damian to have to switch on to guards and stay in front on the perimeter, and I thought he did a really good job.